Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, yes, indeed, we are here for you, the fans of the state of Wisconsin, the fans of the Green Bay Packers, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Wisconsin Football Badgers. Let's go. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. Sparky still on vacation. He's got the long weekend ahead of him. Remember, Monday's Labor Day. He'll be back here on Tuesday, God willing, and we will all be rejoicing in the shadow of Mount Micah and Parsons City invading Green Bay, Wisconsin, as Micah Parsons is literally on a flight right now on his way to Green Bay. Originally expected to speak today around 2:30 p.m. It's backed up. Goody will talk around 5. Micah will speak around 6. We will have some, if not all, of those press conferences on our air, so stay tuned. Intertwined with the leadoff show with Tommy Wirtz at 5 o'clock as the first place Brewers play at the first place Blue Jays tonight, and the Wisconsin Badgers have the best defense in the history of college football after one game, because no one can do better than giving up 0 points, which is what our Badgers did last night. Good afternoon and welcome in. My name's Mitch Nelles. Charlie Usen's in the house. What's up, Big Charlie?
I'm hyped, man. This is still like surreal to me.
Yep.
Any of the news happening. I mean, the Badgers, that offense looked abysmal last night.
Yep.
You know, I thought Billy Edwards kind of looked okay for a little bit until he stopped playing.
Yeah, he was out there for a minute, and that was it.
But he's doing good now. Apparently, all MRIs came back clean, so we may see more Billy Edwards in the future. But honestly, the entire time watching that game, all I could think about was that Micah Parsons is a Packer now.
Well, and I think that's, obviously the overriding thought on our mind as the Badgers win last night. As this was supposed to be Brewers Blue Jays weekend, right? The number one team in the National League, the number one team in the American League, a great test for the Brewers to go on the road to face the Blue Jays. Brewers have 3 great starters lined up. Blue Jays have very good starters lined up as well. This is going to be a great series, and it's like, okay, so we've got Tim Dillard on today at 3:20. We've got Drew Wagner on at 4, and they're going to talk. When we talk with them, we will talk baseball. But beyond that, it is Micah Parsons. It is Mount Micah and Parsons City. Let's go. He is on his way. He's got family members sending out video on TikTok and on Twitter and on Instagram and on all the platforms on the plane on their way. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. If you want to line it up right away, your excitement level. And I also want to hear, where were you? Where were you yesterday at 4 o'clock as this news came down? Were you at the Brewers game? Were you watching the Brewers game and distracted by Christian Yelich trying to tie or take a lead in that game, which did not come to fruition? Where were you yesterday, and are you still just blown away, shocked by what happened? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. It is still unbelievable. It is still next level. It is still fantastic. And it's what it is. I mean, it is so hard to conceive that this is what happened, that this is what occurred, that this is real life. The Green Bay Packers completely reshaping their defense, completely redefining the NFC North race, the NFC race with the Eagles and the Lions and whoever else is in that conversation. And here we go. Here we go. Let's jump off. Let's enjoy it. Let's rejoice in it. And let's make fun of Dallas a little bit too. We've got Jerry Jones's press conference from last night. We're going to take a listen to that later this hour. And we are going to make fun of senile old man Jerry Jones. But let's jump out to the phone lines. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. KJ is in West Dallas. KJ, lead things off for us, brother.
Good afternoon, Thunder. The superlatives in this trade can't be overstated.
I agree. Go for it, my friend.
Unbelievable. I'm not going to talk about how devastating this is going to be for the Dallas Cowboys and how incredibly dumb this trade was. I'm old enough, Thunder, to remember probably one of the worst trades in NFL history, and that was Herschel Walker being traded by the Cowboys to the Vikings for all those.
It worked out. It worked out for the Cowboys. Horrible trade for the Vikings, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that started the trajectory of a small dynasty for the Cowboys. I look at this as a possibility, a potential of being the same thing for the Green Bay Packers. This is not only redefining the NFC, this may be something that's going to redefine the Packers for many years to come.
No doubt about it. This is a franchise defining move. Not that this puts them into contention because they were already there, but this just changes everyone's role. It's kind of like I made the analogy yesterday on the show with Tommy, is like when you're already a playoff baseball team and you get an all-star closer, and that closer just takes care of the ninth inning and nobody has to worry about it. But now your closer gets to be the eighth inning guy, and your eighth inning guy is the seventh inning guy, and everybody's role gets easier, even if they're still performing at their highest level. That's like the Packers defense now with Rashawn Gary and LVN and Edge and Quay. Like, all their jobs get easier because Micah Parsons is there as the closer, and they all can just go out and not worry about having to be someone they're not. They can just be themselves and succeed on the field.
I totally agree with that, Thunder. And that's going to make everybody on that defense better.
Yes. Amen.
Not only on the defense, as well as Jordan Love.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm going to put a couple of coins on Jordan Love being a potential MVP of the league.
Okay.
Because because he's going to get more opportunities with the ball, because I think they're going to get off the field a lot more with Micah Parsons in that defense. And I just see, them going possibly. I think they're going to get to the NFC Championship game and possibly to the Super Bowl within this year or next year.
Yep, KJ, that's the expectation right now, right? Is that the conference championship game at a minimum and at least a Super Bowl appearance, I should say. You can never say, and I will never say, that you have to win the Super Bowl, because anything can happen on any given Sunday. You're not playing a 7-game series where you're the best team. I think getting to the Super Bowl, and then you hope all the things fall into place, right? You think everything happens the way it should, but getting to the Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years, I will expect a minimum of 1 Super Bowl appearance in the next 3 years. Over the next 3 seasons, I expect the Packers to at least make 1 Super Bowl. I certainly hope they win it, and I'd love for them to make more than 1, but I will say my expectation is 1 Super Bowl in the next 3 seasons, KJ.
Yeah, I'll be incredibly disappointed if they don't, Thunder.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. KJ, don't be a stranger. Great to hear your voice. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. You as well.
Yep, that's KJ in West Dallas. He jumps off. You can jump on 414-677-1250. Open phone lines for your thoughts, your reaction. Where were you when you heard the news? I know there are 2 flights right now that are being tracked from Dallas Love Field to Green Bay. Wheels Up private jets. 946. I mean, it's public information. It's not a big deal. Is left 19 minutes ago. Took off 19 minutes ago. Is supposed to land in 1 hour and 38 minutes, so should land at 3:48. Remember, Goody's press conference is at 5. Micah's press conference is at 6. So landing at 3:48 gives them plenty of time to get to Lambeau. Kind of nice that Green Bay's not that big. You don't have to really fight traffic from the airport from Austin Strobel to get to Lambeau.
All the 50 fans that actually live in Green Bay are all going to be at the airport, get through that traffic.
There might be fans out there.
There might be more. I
don't know. I don't know where the private. I know where they land in Milwaukee, by Mitchell Field. There, I don't know where they land at Austin Strobel, but I'm assuming it's right there. So this is one of the two flights that people are watching. And KJ said it, Charlie. Like it's first of all, the words still today are escaping us. Like if you're listening to me and you're like, why is Thunder like so choppy today? Like why is Thunder? Usually Thunder is like waxing poetic and he's so eloquent and he's like just like listening to a true professionally trained orator speaking.
I think that was the most eloquent you've ever been there. Actually,
thank you. I appreciate that. It's because I'm still off. Like I'm still like, I mean, it is crazy, ridiculous, amazing, awesome. Let's go. That's what I have to say about that.
That's really what this is. And again, we keep comparing it to the Khalil Mack trade that the Bears did a few years ago. And this, in this moment, felt so much more unrealistic than even when the Bears trade for Khalil Mack. And this is something that these rumors have been on the table for a week now, at least. I know there's been the smaller rumors before that, but nobody ever really dug into those. It really started heating up earlier this week, and now it actually happened, and it still doesn't feel like it actually happened, which is so strange to say because this happens all the time in sports. When the Bucks trade for Damian Lillard, that kind of felt unreal too, but we got over it real quick once we saw Damian Lillard in that uniform. I don't feel like once I see Micah Parsons in that Green Bay Packers uniform, am I going to believe this anymime? Like this
I'm still not going to believe it.
It's still going to be crazy.
I totally agree. I think that's a great way to say it. Remember, for those of you on YouTube, that's at the Fan Milwaukee with the @ sign. Feel free to roll call. Feel free to just drop your name in the chat. Like if you have something to say, if you want to tell us about Micah Parsons, or if you just want to say hi, where you're from. I'm a big fan of the roll call. I love just the name and where you're from. So if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to go name and where you're from on that. Wes Hodkiewicz from Packers.com, beat writer, wrote a little ditty this morning. 5 things to know about new Packers defensive lineman / defensive edge / edge rusher / linebacker, because we could see him at linebacker from time to time, Micah Parsons. Number one is that his start already puts him in legendary company, and we've heard this one over and over all day today. In generating at least 12 sacks in each of his first 4 NFL seasons, the 26-year-old defensive lineman joins only Pro Football Hall of Famer Reggie White.
Just Reggie White.
Reggie White. They are the only 2 players in league history since 1982, since they've been recording sacks, so maybe Deacon Jones did it, we don't know, to accomplish that feat of at least 12 sacks in each of his first 4 seasons. Parsons has 18 career multi-sack games. That's the second most for an NFL player in his first 4 seasons, trailing only Reggie White. And his 52.5 sacks since entering the NFL are the 5th most sacks by a player in his first 4 seasons in league history. He missed 4 games last year with an ankle injury, but he bounced back with 11 sacks in his final 9 games for Dallas. It was the most sacks in the NFL from between weeks 10 and 18, 11 sacks in those 9 games. He had 5 multi-sacks games in those, so 5 multi-sacks games, and then had 1 more where he had a sack. He was the first defensive player to be voted to the Pro Bowl in each of his first 4 seasons since Aaron Donald, who was widely recognized as the best defensive player but certainly the best defensive lineman during his career. He had 4 tackles and 2.5 sacks in his last game, was when Dallas lost to Washington at the end of the season. But 4 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and did all he could do to at least try to end the season on a bright spot for the Dallas Cowboys. His breakout was immediate. He confirmed his status as one of the top prospects with a jaw-dropping performance at Penn State's Pro Day. He ran a 4.39 40. Charlie, can I ask?
Yeah.
What was your 40?
My fastest 40 that I ever ran was a 5.3. So not even close.
What do you think you could have maxed?
Probably 5.3. That was probably the fastest I was.
You were humming?
Yeah, that was like my senior year of high school, freshman year of college. Yeah.
Because when you're a big guy like you, like once you get going, like you're going.
Yeah, you get rolling. Like the 40-yard dash isn't good. Like it doesn't really tell you that much about bigger guys.
Who's running? What position did you play?
Offensive tackle.
How many offensive tackles are running 40 yards at a sprint?
Not too many. You're running about 5 to 10 yards at most during a play, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He was 6'3", 246. He had a 34-inch vertical. Charlie, do you remember your vertical?
I don't remember my vertical. It was not that though. I can tell you that. Wasn't that?
I got a good like 4.5.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
I can do all right. He had a 10.6 broad jump, drafted 12th overall. His rookie year, he had 13 sacks, was tied for third by a rookie in NFL history. He led the defense in hurries and tackles for loss while finishing 5th in tackles. He was named the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was the first Cowboy to win that award. He was also the first defensive rookie in Cowboys history to be named to the AP All-Pro team. On top of being an elite pass rusher, Parsons has a hobby. Charlie, do you know what this is? Do you know what game he likes to play?
I do not know.
He is an avid chess player.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. That's usually a good sign, I feel like.
He taught himself chess to enhance his cognitive skills and has previously participated in Chess.com's Blitz Champ speed tournament for NFL players. He credits time spent playing chess to his rapid rise. During his breakout rookie campaign, Parsons wore the green dot communication helmet and was responsible for relaying play calls to the Cowboys defense. So even as a rookie, he was the head of the defense there. I kind of understand every coverage we're in, why we're running it, what situations we'll be in, he said. I understand what we're trying to do, but now I want to understand what they're trying to do against me. So Micah Parsons always looking to get better and better and better. And finally, he has several connections to the Green Bay Packers. Certainly his time in Dallas coincided with Mike McCarthy being there as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys at the time. Parsons' first NFL linebackers coach was former Packers assistant Scott McCurley. He played 2 seasons for Green Bay receivers coach James Franklin at Penn State, where Parsons was teammates with current Packers left tackle Rasheed Walker. I wonder what type of battles they had in practice. I bet pretty good. I bet they got after it pretty good.
Maybe, but it's also Micah Parsons, man. I mean,
it is. But Rasheed Walker's
pretty good.
He's a legit NFL lineman. Like he's legit. In his time at Penn State, in his 3 seasons there, 192 tackles, only 6.5 sacks, but 19 tackles for loss, 6 forced fumbles. As a true freshman, he was the first freshman in school history to lead the team in tackles. He only started 1 of the 13 games in which he played, and he led the team in tackles. That's
insane.
That is insane. That is impressive. I'll bet he was the first guy off, though. Very
rotation, played multiple positions.
Exactly. So that's just 5 things to know from our friend Wes Hod over at Packers.com. Things to know about our newest best friend, Micah Parsons. Very excited for the Micah Parsons experiment and experience to start here in Green Bay and in Wisconsin. Remember, Football Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. And as I look at the Green Bay Packers schedule, well, we know they're an NFC team, so a lot of their games are on Fox. But the first game of the year, Lions at Packers, 3:25 kickoff, is a CBS game. So good on, CBS is doing a jump for joy. Amazon Prime, who has the Thursday night game in week 2, is doing a jump for joy. But who's really doing the jump for joy? It's NBC, because week 4 in Dallas, our Green Bay Packers against the weak sauce Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. Packers and Cowboys, Sunday night, September 28th, 7:20 p.m. I got my phone right here, which has my Google Calendar in it. And I know I have all the Packers games in my calendar, but I just want to make sure I don't have anything else during the day. I feel like I need the day to get ready for that one. I got nothing. I got nothing in my calendar on Sunday and Monday. All I got is the Mason Crosby show.
Perfect.
So I'll roll in here. Will Andy Herman sleep?
No, I don't think he slept since this news got broke. He keeps talking about it on Twitter.
But that night, like the 28th, and then having a show at 8 a.m. because he goes live on Pack a Day podcast right after the show, right after every game. Like, is he even gonna try to go to sleep after that game? Especially if it goes our way. Especially if Micah has a couple sacks. Especially if he takes Dak's face and just rubs it on the star and says, "How's that taste, Dak? You want some? Come get some."
Yeah, I think he's probably just going to have to roll the podcast into the show in the next morning because he's not going to be able to stop talking about it.
I absolutely agree, man. That would be absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait. Let's hear a little Jerry Jones when we come back. Mr. Senile himself, trying to, he saw how well it worked out for the Mavericks, trading Luka, an all-timer for Anthony Davis, who's an all-star. And he traded an all-timer, Micah Parsons.
Anthony Davis is an all-timer. Let's be real.
Is he an all-timer?
NBA top 75 according to the NBA.
All right. I mean, he just has trouble staying healthy, I think, is the biggest thing with him. But they wanted Luka out of that locker room. They couldn't trust that. And now, did Dallas want Micah out of that locker room? Like, was he somebody that Jerry Jones couldn't trust for whatever reason? So let's listen to a little Jerry Jones, and we'll intersperse it with our comments. We'll do, play and pause and talk over him. And we're going to be much more entertaining and exciting than he is. Remember, Tim Dillard coming up at 3:20 today on the show. Drew Wagner coming up at 4. So there will be Brewers Talk, Brewers huge series. I'm going to say huge. I know that it's not even September 1st. And the series will be the 29th, 30th, and 31st. It'll take us into September. But I think going to Toronto, I think that's a huge series, and I'm really excited about it. I know Packers fans. I know we're all in, all Packers all the time. I get that. I know that some of the other stations don't even know how to talk about baseball or basketball or the other sports because they are all Packers all the time, and that's fine. And I love the Packers too. We all love the Packers. But the Brewers are the best team in baseball, and they're going to play the best team in the American League. And this could be the World Series preview. Let's be real. I mean, who knows? But let's knock on wood. So Tim Dillard at 3:20, Drew Wagner at 4, Jason Hirschhorn will be our Green and Gold update guest at 4:20, and we will get all the latest from him as we get to Goody at 5 and Micah Parsons at 6. Their press conferences happening there as well. If you're looking for a fun new location to host your fantasy football draft, check out the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 6,500 square feet, 2 levels highlighted by a 2,000 square foot screen that can have up to 30 sports events on it at one time. We've told you about it. You've been there. You know how great it is. Your league will have a private elevator pass to the second level. It's private, people. You can't use that elevator. You need a key to use that elevator. So it's either Austin or it's Jay or it's Luis or it's all the great people there. They're going to get you up to the second level. You'll have your fantasy football draft. A smorgasbord of food will be served. 3 drink tickets per team, up to 14 team leagues only. So if you got a 12-team league, each team gets 3 drinks. So if you're a solo owner, you get all 3 passes. Plus, you get the draft board, stickers for each player to be drafted, a podium to make the picks from. Go to Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. That's Potawatomi.com/sportsbook to reserve your day and time today. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. I'm Mitch Nelles, in for Sparky. Coming back again like a rolling. Yeah, I know. It's so good for everybody on YouTube. Just deal with it. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, here on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, free on the Odyssey app. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. Charlie Usen's here. What's up, Charlie Usen?
Not too much, just hanging out, living life.
So you have a second job.
I do have a second job, yes.
Where you work amongst the people.
I do, yeah.
Was there buzz last night at all? Was like, what are your TVs shows, Sports Center or sports or what? Like, were there any feels or anybody in their feels last night?
Most people were pretty excited about it that I was talking to. So like my coworkers know I work here as well. So the people that care about football were asking me about it and they seemed pretty excited. Mostly a lot of people know who Micah Parsons is. Get some people coming up sitting at the bar. Just that's what they're talking about. And I have to join in because I talk about this and it's so much fun to talk about. So just talking with fans of the team and how excited they are. This just, again, it feels like it rejuvenated every Packer fan spirits, and spirits weren't really low at all.
No, spirits were already high, and this just sent them through the roof. I was at my kid's school this morning, and we had like a parent thing, and one of the parents who I know is not a sports fan at all came up to me and asked me a Brewers question. And I was like, don't you mean Micah Parsons? And they looked at me and they're like, who? I was like, I'm in the wrong room this morning. I had to leave as soon as possible to get back here to the Mason Crosby Show starring Tommy Wirtz, because I had to get out of that non-sport. Like, it was school stuff and it was fine. And, it's the beginning of the year and everything's fine. But man, I expected, and other people were talking about Micah Parsons, of course, but like this one conversation was just like, what a Brewers class. I mean, I'll take it. I can answer
still sports. It's still important.
I'm very, very smart, so I can answer your questions.
It's a heavyweight matchup this weekend for the Brewers, man.
It really is. It really is. Thanks for those of you who are watching on YouTube. Remember, we are now live on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Hacklaw writes in, when is the press conference? So Goody's talking at 5. Micah is talking at 6. We are tracking a flight from Dallas Love, a wheels up private jet that we believe is the flight that he's on. It is scheduled to land in Green Bay at 3:48. So if that is indeed the jet that he's on, he'll land at 3:48. He'll probably get there in time for Goody's press conference at 5. And if he doesn't, he'll just join in whenever, and he'll be ready to go at his 6 o'clock press conference. For those of you also following along at home, Kenny Clark got on Jerry Jones's private jet last night and flew into Dallas and was at practice today, a non-participant. He had to go through his physical and all that sort of stuff. He will be wearing number 96 for the Dallas Cowboys. We still don't know what number Micah Parsons will wear. I earlier today on the Mason Crosby Show predicted 0. I think 0 because we were talking about 11 or 1, and that originally Jaden Reed wanted 1, but technically it's retired for Curly Lambeau. So I don't believe he wore that. I think it was just retired like in honor of him. So certainly it's a number they could take out and use again. But he got 11. So the question is, does Micah Parsons really want 11? So he then goes to Jaden Reed and and they come up with a deal, maybe a house, a yacht. I don't know, like
enough money for it.
Right. Like when you make $10 million, like you give him a car. But when you make $120 million, like I want 3 cars, bro. Like, let's go.
Right.
Like, I want 3. Like, let's make this happen. And so we'll see what number he is. I still predict 0. I just think it makes sense, and that's kind of a fun number. Someone on the Nicolay Law fan talking at text line during the Mason Crosby Show said, "What about 2? Like, is Malik Willis married to 2? Like, could he change numbers? Would Parsons want? I don't know what, he was 11 and 1 + 1 is 2, but that's like a joke like second and third graders make, like, right? Like what's 1 + 1? And you say 2. They're like, no, 11. Ha ha ha. Like, you're an idiot. And it's like, it's true. Kids are idiots. And it's not like they're not dumb. Like, they just don't know things. Like, they're learning. Like, it's not their fault. Like, I love kids. And the things they say are the cutest things in the world, but they're not smart. I mean, they're smart for their age, but they're not smart in real life. So that's a great joke that kids make. But I think I'm going with 0. That's my prediction. And I don't know that it really matters. Like who
Micah Parsons on the team, man.
Right.
What does it matter what number he's wearing?
Maybe he'll go 99.
Maybe.
You know, he's 11, right?
Spectrum.
Go opposite. Maybe he convinces Golden to switch numbers to go 20. What was he thinking about? Was he thinking about 23 or was he thinking about another number?
23 would be fine because that was Jair. I don't know who's wearing 23 now.
And so Micah could go 22 and then Golden could go 23 or something like that. I don't know. Well, who knows? Doesn't really matter, but it's just fun to watch. And speaking of jersey numbers, this has nothing to do with anything. I think one day I want to buy a Mizorowski 33.
All right.
Right? Because he wore it once.
Yeah.
Because Savali was still on the team. So Savali was 32. And Mizorowski in his first ever start wore 33. Savali was traded the next day or 2 days later, or whatever it was. And Mizorowski became 32. I want a Mizorowski 33.
That'd be pretty cool. That's like Jordan, what was that, 43 that he wore the one time?
Well, he wore 45.
45, that's what it was.
But he wore 45 for like half a season almost. But yeah, it's like kind of that weird number that people wear sometimes before they become their number.
What would it take in like your mind? I don't know if you already think that like just because Micah Parsons here, they should unretire number one or whatever. But like, what does the level of the player have to be for, in your mind, them to unretire a number? Because I know a lot of people are arguing about this when the Giants unretired the number.
No, the answer is never.
Okay.
The answer is never. Unless there's a connection between the player and the person who's retired, and the person who's retired like specifically wants, like if Arch Manning goes to the Colts and Uncle Peyton says, I want you to wear 18. It's retired, but it's retired with the name Manning on it. And you are Arch Manning, and I want you to wear Manning 18 if you want to. Like you wouldn't go public with it. You have a private conversation first, something like that. So whether it's family or whether it's they went to the same college, or there's got to be a real specific tie. But beyond that, you honor what an organization has decided. You honor their decision. You honor the legacy of the player who wore that number. If one day Robin Yount has a grandson who plays on the Brewers and he wants to give him 19, give him 19. Like, cool. But beyond that, I don't see any need or reason or respectful decision to take a number out of retirement for any level of player.
Would you prefer that, like, maybe NFL teams or just professional sports teams in general, instead of retiring numbers, took the route of some of these college teams like LSU, where they have number 7 is just kind of that number that sticks through for, like, the captain, the leader of the team? Would you prefer that at a professional level, or do you still like that they retire numbers instead? Because then you could give guys like Micah Parsons the one. It would just be a legacy number at that point.
And I think what college does with that is like they retired the jersey. Marquette has 24 retired twice or whatever the number is. But it's not that the number's retired, it's that the jersey's retired. It's Tony Smith is retired, Jim McIlvain is retired, and so on and so on. And I think I like that, especially on the college level, because guys are only there for 4 years.
Right.
I mean, in the pros, if you're there for 10 or 15 or 20 years, maybe you deserve it. Like maybe you deserve to just have your number retired forever. I mean, the Celtics certainly run into that. I mean, every year you got Celtics wearing weird, you got 88 this past year. Like you got weird guys wearing weird numbers on the Celtics because they have so many numbers retired because they dominated basketball for so long in the 50s and 60s that I think it's an organizational choice. I would have no problem if an organization said, we're not retiring numbers anymore. Now, the question is, if they've already retired numbers and now they're just retiring, jerseys, is that a slap in the face to whoever, let's say, knock on wood, Jordan Love wins 2 Super Bowls with the Packers, spends 14 years with the Packers. I don't know what happens the last couple of years, probably goes to the Jets. But besides that, like 14 years, wins 2 Super Bowls, and 4 is retired. Okay. And 12 is retired. And then they come to Jordan Love and say, we're not retiring 10, but we're retiring, like we're putting Love 10 up on the Ring of Honor or whatever it is. But other people can wear 10 at some day. And they don't give it to a punter. Like they make sure they give it to a high draft pick or somebody they feel is deserving quarterback, but they still take that number. Like if I'm Jordan Love, I'm like even 15 years from now or 20 years from now, I'm still like, I don't love how that feels. Like you retired Favre and Rodgers, and it's Favre, Rodgers, and Love. And Starr's retired too. So you've got Starr, Favre, Rodgers all retired, and I'm not retired, and I won 2 Super Bowls, and I don't know. I feel kind of weird about that.
I guess, but also at the same time, yeah, you're not retired in the same sense that they are, but now you are going to be synonymous with, again, let's say they do make every quarterback number 10 from that point moving forward. You are now synonymous with the legacy moving forward with that number. If some player goes and wins 2 Super Bowls at the quarterback position wearing number 10 after that, I think they all of a sudden compare you to Jordan Love first and then go to those other guys that have the retired numbers. I think there's benefits to that too in terms of your legacy being carried on in that sense.
What if, though, the next quarterback what if the next quarterback's a first-round draft pick and all the accolades, and he's supposed to be great, and he stinks, and he wears number 10? I do think that bothers the legacy of number 10, even though it's Jordan Love, because now all of a sudden, 20 years from now, you've got all these Packers fans who go out and buy number 10, D'Agostino.
Mm-hmm.
You know, D'Agostino goes nuts. He was the starting quarterback at Missouri, and he set all these Missouri records, and Missouri made they didn't win it, but they made the national championship game. And Missouri never does that. And he's unbelievable. And he stays at Missouri for 3 years. And then he comes out, and Jordan Love's about to retire, and they take D'Agostino. And then they say, you know what, Jordan, Love 10, it's up there, but D'Agostino's going to wear 10 too. And D'Agostino comes in and, literally cannot play NFL football. Was a great college quarterback, but is not, and it does not work for him. Then I'm like, if I'm Jordan Love, then I really feel disrespected. I don't feel good, because now you walk around southeastern Wisconsin, you walk around northeastern Wisconsin, and 80% of people are wearing 10 jerseys, and you got to see that it says Love on the back, but 20% of people are wearing D'Agostino. I love the fact that Giannis is 34. But man, when I see that purple and I see it says Antetokounmpo on the back, I go up to people and I say they spelled Allen wrong, because that's Ray Allen's jersey.
But you don't think people would do that with Jordan Love too, and defend a Jordan Love to the D'Agostino people,
but
or
they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to. So I don't know. That's why I'm saying I like the concept of retiring the jersey and not the number. But for organizations that have already made then that the other thing I would say is, or then you take all numbers back,
right?
Reset it, yeah. 12 is up for grabs now, and 4 is up for grabs, and 92 is up for grabs. And you make it 414-677-1250. I think it's an interesting conversation. 414-677-1250. Thinking about what number Micah Parsons could be. What is your view of retired numbers? Do you think that there's importance to retired numbers? I as Bucs fans, certainly we waited for a really long time for Marcus Johnson's 8 to be retired, because there was whatever that static buildup was between Marcus Johnson and Herb Cole that we've heard about for so long. Finally, Herb Cole sells the team, and there's not that barrier anymore. And Marcus Johnson certainly had a very good career in Milwaukee. And whether he left on bad terms or whatever, got caught up in things you do in the 80s that you don't do as much these days, whatever it might be. I think that, that concept of who's got their number retired, you look at the Badgers, a football team, and it's you've got 4 numbers retired. And it's hard in college because guys are in for 1 year, maybe 3 or 4 years, most, of course. But then you have so much roster turnover, and especially in football, you use every number, use multiple numbers. I mean, there have been times where you've had starters on offense and on defense with the same number, where it's you gotta pay attention to who's out there, especially on special teams. But you have 110 guys. Well, you only have 0 through 99. So if you have 110 guys, you're going to have players wearing multiple players wearing the same number. So I think it's an interesting conversation. As the way professional sports are set up now, I do not think under really any circumstance, unless, like I said, if Arch Manning goes to the Giants, and I don't even know if they've retired Eli's number yet, but if he goes to the Colts, and either Uncle Eli or Uncle Peyton want him to wear his number, I don't take a number out. If it's out of circulation, it's out of circulation. 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. A little bit of a fun diversion there as we discuss Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons tweeting. Let's see. What did he say? When did he tweet this out? Where's the time on this? At 2:33. So is he tweet this from the plane? He wants to tweet this on the plane. I would never leave the best agent in the world. It's just that simple. Thank you, David Malugeta, for all you have done for my family. And obviously, Micah Parsons, very loyal to his agent, because that was the crux of the deal falling apart. That Micah and Jerry apparently had a verbal agreement, but Micah said, work out the details with my agent, and Jerry never called his agent. So either Jerry had a vendetta or is just senile and an idiot. Or did
maybe a little both.
Yeah, maybe a little both. Or didn't want Micah and wanted to use this as an excuse and wanted to save face by saying, oh, well, we had an agreement. Well, you didn't, because an agreement with the player didn't matter in this case. It was completely irrelevant. You needed to work it out with the person who had the negotiating power. You didn't do it. And now the Green Bay Packers have Micah Parsons. Speaking of Jerry Jones, let's hear a little bit from Jerry Jones when we come back. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. We're having a blast here. And speaking of our friends at the aforementioned Wendy's, the Meal of Misfortune, devised by Wednesday Addams, available now at Wendy's, where you must surrender to your fate. It comes with rest in 10-piece. I feel like the Undertaker should be a part of this too. Rest in peace. Rest in 10-piece nugs, small crispy fries, and a small Raven's Blood Frosty. And, of course, 2 of 4 mysterious dips of dread to up the torment. By the way, we are at the Odyssey headquarters in Milwaukee. Somebody wants to drop me off a Frosty, like in the next 2 hours? That'd be
too. That'd be nice.
If anybody wants to drop off 2 Frosties here, Charlie and I would crush them, and you get a shout out on the air. So, we don't say we're cheap or anything. In Wednesday's words, it's pure torture and tribute to the suffering that awaits us all from the dips of dread. And the best part is you never know what you'll get. Each uniquely insufferable in its own torturous way. Gotta be Wendy's. Watch Wednesday Season 2 only on Netflix. Available for a limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's while supplies last. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Again, if you are in the neighborhood and you happen to pick up a Frosty, Charlie and I would definitely take one. You can choose. You can choose the combination. You know,
I'll eat whatever.
Right,
man.
right, yeah, exactly. If you want to do the Wednesday Addams one, or if you want to do like chocolate with strawberry shortcake, or caramel and caramel, or whatever you want to do. Like, beggars can't be choosers here. Like, we're just here for you. So you want to do that, you go right ahead. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. 414-677-1250. Still would love to hear from you. Where were you yesterday when you heard the news? Dusty Evely was on the Mason Crosby show earlier today. He was in the middle of making dinner. He was making some birria ramen. Do you know what birria is, Charlie?
I do know what birria is.
And what is it?
It's a form of is it beef?
Yep.
And it's like marinated in that juice and
it's
stuff,
like
and they put it in a taco.
It's like marinated pulled beef usually. Yeah. It's really so. I know as a community, we love our pulled pork, and I know often if we don't eat the pulled pork, we love our pulled chicken, but pulled beef, man, is really good. I don't know if they still have it, but Cafe Corazon, which is in River West, and now they're in Bayview and in Brown Deer. And they might still be at the Mequon Public Market. I'm not sure. They used to have an amazing pulled beef. I'm not sure if they still have it on their menu. But man, there's like, I don't know if it's like harder to make or different. I don't, I've done shredded or pulled chicken a ton, and I love that. Like barbecue, just put a bottle of barbecue sauce in there, maybe a little Italian dressings, and see some brown sugar. Throw some brown sugar in there, like let's go. Yeah. And but pulled beef, if you do it right, it's really good.
That does sound good. I've never had pulled beef. I just had beef noodle soup the other day. That was really good. Yeah, that was
kind of like chicken noodle soup of beef. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I think beef barley is more traditional. Yeah, but beef noodle's good too. Absolutely,
it was pretty good.
It's a Friday. Can you tell? This is the Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, enjoying our soups. And of course, when we go to Wendy's, we get chili because that's what you do at Wendy's. Speaking of someone who could probably use a little chili, because I don't know if he can eat hard foods anymore, because he's, man, that's just mean. Jerry Jones is the owner and the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. And I know sometimes on the Mason Crosby show, when we're playing another team and I'll say our, like, the Packers are facing off against our Detroit Lions, and Mason and Tommy go nuts. And I'm like, guys, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm being funny, like tongue in cheek. But I can't even say that about the Dallas Cowboys because they're so like disgusting and despicable, and the star is just so pompous and stupid at this point. And like, what a joke of an organization. And I kind of feel bad for them, but I kind of don't. But Jerry Jones had a press conference yesterday evening after the trade. And he was asked this. He was asked one question, and he decided to answer like 47 different questions.
This is for Jerry and obviously Stephen. Why did you decide to trade Micah Parsons?
Well, without being too broad, obviously, we did think it was in the best interest of.
All right. So first of all, like, you're an idiot. Like, first of all, it's not in the best interest of your organization. That's it. Like, full stop. And like, interrupt him, someone in Dallas, and say, how can you possibly think trading one of the best players in all of football for 2 future late first-round picks and a guy who really was over the hill last year? Now, Kenny Clark, I actually hope he has a good year. Like, we all know he's a good guy. Mason talked about it a lot today. Good guy. But like, that we did the right, no.
Of our organization, not only
not
the
in
future,
the best interest.
But right now,
season, not just this season.
Well,
what are you talking about?
We've gained a Pro Bowl player.
Did you gain a Pro Bowl player? All right, I gotta use my Google machine here. Kenny Clark, and I'll click on like Pro Football Reference because that's the one you go to, and it'll say like on the side. He was in a Pro Bowl in 23.
3-time Pro Bowler, actually.
Well, I knew he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, but I didn't know how recent it was. So 23, and 23 is a Pro Bowler. All right. So I thought like 21 might have been his most recent one. All right. So 2 years ago. 2 years. All right. So Jerry, I got one on you. You got one on me. Let's go.
We've gained a Pro Bowl player in an area that we had big concern in.
That's true.
Concerns in.
Yep, we talked
on
about
the
that.
inside of our defense.
Yep.
Let me go beyond your question.
This is where we get into trouble. So by the way, in 23, Kenny Clark had 7.5 sacks, career high. You don't get a ton of sacks from the interior line.
No, he was playing nose tackle that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, in his career before that, 4.5, 6, 6, 2, 4, 4, and then 7.5. How many sacks do you think he had? Do you have it in front of you? Do you know?
I don't have it in front of me
All
right
right. Over, under 2.5 sacks.
Probably under, I would guess 2 again.
1. He had 1 sack last year. That's I feel like that's not a lot.
Not great. No.
Yeah, not great. Okay. All right. That's just last year. And we know he
First of all, I want to tell you that I really like Micah. I appreciate the 4 years that we've had him here. And he's a great player.
Okay.
And so we are very appreciative of the fact that he's a great player.
Absolutely.
There's no question that I could have signed him in April.
Could have signed him in April.
And so,
all right. So we'll stop that because we actually all agree with that, right? And if you have any comments for Jerry Jones, 414-677-1250, feel free to call in the Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text line, 414-677-1250. Jerry Jones could have signed him in April. All he had to do is call his agent. He calls his agent, and he could have signed him in April. So I think we agree on that. Like, if they wanted to, they could have signed Micah Parsons. They couldn't have done it in late August or September, but I think we all agree he could have done it in April if he wanted to. Clearly, he didn't want to.
We all know that to have agreements, all parties have to agree.
And when I don't call the agent, not only do not all the parties agree, but some of them aren't even involved in the conversation because that's how I do business. If I don't care, I don't care. And clearly, I made a verbal agreement with someone, but then didn't talk to the person I needed to talk to because I don't do my due diligence and I'm now negligent in my duties.
Well, I'm an old man who's rich, so whatever I say is the rule, basically, is what's going on here.
Like that.
And he's mad that nobody wants to follow his rules because everybody sees he's an old senile man, like you're saying.
But this was by design. I did.
This was by design. It almost sounds like he's Montgomery Burns and he planned this the whole time. Like he planned on having a verbal agreement with Micah. He planned on pissing off Micah. He planned on alienating Micah. He planned on getting this to a point where Micah was going to walk away no matter what. And then he, to save face, at least got 2 draft picks and a Pro Bowl player back for Micah instead of signing to a deal that he didn't want to agree to begin with. And so I think when they had that handshake deal, Jerry was lying. Jerry's the liar here.
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it?
Crazy.
Make Micah an offer. It wasn't acceptable. And I honor the fact that it wasn't done in the way that he wanted to do it through an agent. So he was made an offer. There's not an ounce of vindictiveness. There's no bad feelings on my part about the fact that we didn't come together.
Because everything I wanted to have happened. I wanted to make Michael look bad. I never wanted to sign him. And guess what? In my mind, he looks bad. I look great because I made this great deal for the Dallas Cowboys that makes the team better because I'm lying through my teeth or I'm that deluded that I'm an idiot. We didn't make a deal with him at the end of the day anyway, and that's what I wanted from the start.
The facts are, and we'll cover it, I'm sure, with many of your questions, but the facts are specifically we need to stop the run.
Yes.
And we haven't been able to stop the run at key times.
And with Micah Parsons on this team, we can't stop the run. With Kenny Clark, we can. We are an astronomically better football team today than we were yesterday because we have Kenny Clark to stop the run and Micah Parsons couldn't stop the run. And that's going to change the entire defense and the entire trajectory of our season.
Just nuts.
Do I make myself clear?
Just nuts.
Trey Wingo tweeted out earlier today, if you had any doubts that Jerry Jones is the worst GM in the league, you can let them go now. It's not even a debate. And, of course, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk has an article up about how Jerry Jones compares the Micah Parsons trade to the Herschel Walker trade. Not even close, bro. We've got some more Jerry Jones to listen to. We'll listen to that a little bit at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. Then we've got Tim Dillard joining us. We've got Drew Wagner. We've got Jason Hirschhorn in the 4 o'clock hour. So much going on. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. Feel free to chime in on YouTube as well. At The Fan Milwaukee. At The Fan Milwaukee is where you can find us there. And it's exciting that it's just exciting. It's just exciting. Micah Parsons is en route to Green Bay right now. He's supposed to land in about 50 minutes. 5 o'clock press conference for Goody. 6 o'clock press conference for Micah. Checking my email. I do not have an email yet about when or if LaFleur is going to speak, or if he's just going to come up with Goody or be there in between, or however that will work. We will find out how that works. Remember, we end the stream on YouTube. We'll start a new one. So if you're watching, that'll go away, and then you just click on the live button and it'll pop up again for hour number 2. Next, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's.